Right, so you guys saw the picture we're kind of set up for, and we've got enough distance between us.
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing?
Hey, thank you for all the texts, the messages on Instagram, and a ton of emails this past week. Hey, you guys gonna have a Tech Tuesday? Hey, you didn't have a Tech Tuesday. Everything all right? I didn't see a Tech Tuesday. It's Tuesday. Welcome to Tech Tuesday. And I still feel like crap. I do, man. I'm laying in the hospital last week, 103 fever, doing the EKG thing, and then the guy leans down and he goes, oh, hey, I know you. I watch your videos. But you gotta be kidding me, man. Really? It's like, yeah, great. He goes, hey, you got a really nice car.
Here, can you sign this for me?
Oh, they took incredible care of me.
Oh, good.
Really did. I mean, super, super nice guys. We do have a couple of emails for you guys, Chuck and I, mostly for Chuck because it's a little bit harder for me to talk. But thank you for the support of the Tech Tuesday. And then we're going to finish up today. Got some good looking, I say this every week, but it will not disappoint. I've got some great looking cars, your rides, to finish up today's upload. You do have a lot, so man, I'm gonna stop rambling and just let you roll right into all these great emails, and hopefully they help the people that sent them in, as well as others in the Corvette community.
Sure. This one comes from Jeff. Says, thanks so much for all the info you provide on Tech Tuesday videos, as well as the app, other great videos, information you provide. Recently, you've discussed oil change intervals, 7,500 miles, and I think that I have the first change covered. It needs to be done within the first 18 months. I got my 2021 HTC from you in August last year. It has 2,003 miles, and so is low oil life at 17%. Should I bring it in sooner or closer to 7,500 miles?
This is a conversation that is just going to continue on the C8. So if you've watched previous episodes, you go, hey, didn't you guys talk about this already? We're going to continue to talk about it so people understand that it is a different procedure, and there's a number of different factors that will determine what you got to do in that first service. Go ahead, Chuck.
Right. Well, what we've been recommending on our customers is actually 24 months, 2 years, or 7,500 miles, whichever comes first. And we both know the 24 months is probably going to come before the 7,500. But what we've been doing here is, if they have low mileage and still a lot of time left on the first service, say like your service don't run out until August of next year, rather than burning your first service, I recommend you bring it in and pay for the oil change and just do the oil change and let that first service ride out, because you can carry that first service out till 2 years, but you don't want to let it go past 7,500 miles.
Chuck, tell them what the first service is, because some people, I'm hearing more stories that other Chevy dealerships don't know what the first service is. So how's the customer to know, to make sure that they're not getting bamboozled, but also that they're getting what they're supposed to be getting?
I've had two in here, oh no, my first service is already done, they changed the oil. That is not a first service, that is an oil change. Your first service that General Motors provides to you is an oil change, along with the direct dual clutch transmission cartridge filter. Both, you do them both at the same time. And the reason they're wanting to change that out at 7,500 miles is that's the recommended maintenance. But I've talked to the guys at the GM, they say they really don't want them to go past 7,500 miles, but they want them to go at least as close as they can get to 7,500 miles without going over. So that's why I say, if he still has 18 months left on his, that's another 1.5 years. So the oil change reminder counts down time and mileage. It's got an internal clock. It's always counting down whether you're driving the car or not, for viscosity, different things. So if you don't feel comfortable just resetting your oil change reminder, that's fine. Bring it in, but pay for just the oil change and let your first service ride out.
Right.
Because once you claim it, you can't go back and reclaim it. It's a one-time shot.
We broke this story too on our channel, and I'm hoping that we get it for people that don't have a 2023 C8, is get that new maintenance screen where it shows you oil life, fluid life, and the filter life now for 2023. So still kind of waiting for this over-the-air update. Maybe in fact we'll get that.
Possibly.
Because that'll really help too, because that filter is crucial to maintaining the DCT transmission.
Yeah, absolutely. And what people don't understand is this is basically a standard transmission that's automatic. So you got the clutches and stuff in this. This DTC filter is catching the clutch material that's wearing off and different things. So it's imperative that get replaced before 7,500 miles. Not at 1,000 miles or 2,300 miles, or as close to 7,500 as you can get it without going over 7,500 is what they recommend.
Now, we had teased on social media, I said last week, sorry, we didn't have a show last week, but I said I was going to share this scenario. I actually helped a customer troubleshoot their problem, and then I'm coming back from Kentucky. In fact, that wonderful, fun delivery you'll see this coming Sunday on my Coffee with Conti show, but the very same thing happened to me. Think about starting up your computer. When you turn your computer on, do you immediately just start banging on the keys? You let everything kind of turn on, initiate, start communicating. Well, I've had a couple of people say, hey, I've gotten in my car and all of a sudden, like, the whole screen is black. Same thing happened to me. I stopped to get gas coming out of Cincinnati, and I figured out it's going to be fine. So I get on the freeway, and all of a sudden, like, wait a minute, it's not coming back. I mean, I don't know how fast I'm going. I can't even set to cruise. I'm like, I got to pull over, and I got to do this one procedure that will pass on to you if you get basically some interruption gremlins, as we call them. You got a blank screen, and you'll know why I'm going to do this. You and I went through this many a times before. Had the car turned off, I opened the door, and I let it sit like that for about, what, about 15 minutes?
10, 15 minutes.
So why did I do that, Chuck?
You reset everything.
Let the car go to sleep.
Yep. Let the car go to sleep, reset, and in the computer terms, reboot, because this is a computer on wheels.
Right. So if you get that situation where the screen is black, don't freak out. You can save essentially a trip to the dealership. Sometimes right now, short-staffed or just busy, it's hard to get your car in right away. You can lose valuable driving time in the beautiful season that we have right now. Keep your door open. It was easy for me because it was at night, and I knew when it was time to recycle because the light inside went off. It took about 12 minutes, right. and I was done. So that's why I say 10 to 15 minutes, sure. And then you close the door, reopen the car, and then all of a sudden I saw all the little stuff going crazy on my dash. I'm like, okay, good, I'm back. Fired it up and got home. Sure. So you can get the car to go to sleep, and that could help you reset, reboot, if you will. All right, so hopefully that helps you out on today's Tech Tuesday.
Well, and especially these new C8s, because they went to the global B platform communication. Right. It's a very high-speed data communications.
When we say it's a computer on wheels, yeah, it's a computer on wheels.
One little glitch and everything goes, wait a minute, what happened?
It goes what?
Yeah.
You're gonna give me that one more time.
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
All right, this one comes from James. It says, hi Rick and Chuck, have you heard of any problems when it comes to doing a wiretap on a C8 2LT rear view mirror to add a radar detector power? Or would it be better to just use the accessory adapter under the glove box? Thank you so much for all you do. We actually just talked about it. These cars are nothing but computers on wheels, so the less you can tap into the wiring harness for any reason, the better off you're going to be. Right. I would probably use the accessory cord if you can.
Yeah, because if you tap into that wiring harness for a number of things that you could be doing, you could void the warranty.
Well, not only that, you've taken a system that expects to see a certain amount of resistance, and now you've created more resistance because you've added something to it that's not supposed to be there. Ergo, problems. Yeah, I don't recommend them tapping into any of the harnesses.
This one comes from Kevin. He says, Rick and Chuck, got a C8 Z51, 1,300 miles on it. How hard is it on the car to do launch control? How do you do launch control? Rather than go through a big explanation, we actually did that for you on the channel not quite a year ago. I let just random people do launch control in my car. I was just talking to my buddy Pete in Michigan about this. I'm thinking about this past year, short of allocations and inventory, but I've been so fortunate to have my car. And think of the content and the stuff that I've done on the channel that I would never be able to do without my car. Accessory items, trips, all that kind of stuff. So if you want to see us doing launch control and how to do it, there's a link down below in the description. YouTube app, we've got a link for you right up in there. Chuck, what else you got? You got a ton there. Keep going, baby.
Yeah, I got a stack over here. Anyway, this comes from Mike. He says, I'm a new Corvette owner, October 2021. Wanted to put shocks on my 1998 C5 Corvette with magnetic shocks. The new shocks cost $3,500. Yes, they do. Some said you could put new shocks on and bypass the computer. Can you help me? Thank you very much. Enjoy your YouTube videos. I know there's aftermarket places out there that do offer different shocks, and if you get it hooked up with a good one, they should come with a connector pack, because the magnetic ride shocks have an electrical connector that hooks onto the shock. So when you put an aftermarket shock on there, you have to have something to plug into that connector. So if you're going to do an aftermarket shock, do a reputable one that has the wiring connectors that come with it to help bypass that system. This one comes from...
That one's from Jack, isn't it? I know, you started laughing. So as soon as we started talking about something, and when Chuck took the initiative and dug deep and then shared something, you'll see here in a second. Now all of a sudden we're getting, it's like, oh, can you check mine? Can you check mine? And he did check Jack. So go ahead with what Jack's situation is.
All right, this is Jack. He says, hi, just love your vlog and the Tech Tuesday. Keep up the great work. I have a 2016 C7 Stingray. I had the triple flush done on my transmission at my dealer in July of 2018 with 14,348 miles on it. I now have 28,400 miles on it, and I'm feeling a shudder again while driving at highway speeds. My question is it covered under the powertrain warranty the second time? I read somewhere they came out with a better fluid in 2019. All right, I pulled your bin and seen where it was done under warranty, and they used the second generation fluid. See, everybody has to understand this fluid's been changed 3 times, okay? Trying to get rid of this problem. And unfortunately, the fluid they put in it back in 2018 was probably the fluid that they had out at the time, but no, it is not the latest updated fluid. So that's the reason you're getting the transmission shudder once again. Now, depending on when you took delivery of the 2016, if it's still covered under powertrain warranty, yes, it still should be covered for a second time. If it has ran out of powertrain warranty, then no, it won't be covered. Like I said, they've been changing this fluid. This is the 3rd gen fluid. They got it right on the 3rd time, but they're not going to go back, I don't think, and adjust it. So,
right. All right. I've only got one more, but go ahead.
Okay. This one comes from Bob. Says, I recently got my new 2022 Red Mist Stingray 3LT HTC and noticed that the oil check procedure is different from the C7. Most definitely. Let's see. Following is from the 2022 owner's manual, which indicates the engine must be running when checking oil level. I don't recall ever having to check the oil level with the engine running, so I thought this should be shared with other C8 owners who may not notice this procedure in the manual. Yes, you are correct. In the C7, you had to run the car and bring it up to temperature and shut it off and check the oil. In the new C8s, you have to bring them up just like I read it, he printed off here. You turn the ignition on and let it warm up to at least 175 degrees. With the engine still running at idle is when you check the oil. Yes, that is a fact. C7, everything else you had to shut the engine off to check the oil. The new C8s, you have to leave them running.
Yeah, like these are things that are worth repeating on the channel as you get more people that are getting their first cars and that type of thing.
Everybody needs to remember that degree. It needs to be 175 degrees. Not just start it up and let it run, check the oil. No, you have to bring the oil up to temp, at least to 175 degrees.
Just a quick one here. This comes from Lou in Indiana, and he says, Rick, I enjoy tracking my C8 coupe, and I'm thinking about getting a hardtop convertible. Is the hardtop convertible any less rigid than the coupe on the track? Can you notice the difference? I haven't tracked the coupe, but I noticed the difference when I drove a coupe back from Tennessee and from Chicago. And my car, I think, feels maybe just a little bit heavier than the coupe. I mean, minimal, but really, as far as rigidity, they're built on the same platform. So they're both made to track. I think they're both great values, especially the hardtop convertible. You can be with the top up and people will think it's a coupe, and you're good to go and do a lot more track than you normally could.
Point of order. What? I believe we tracked a coupe in Pahrump.
Oh, we did track. Oh. Well, I told you I'm still not feeling well. I'm sitting here, I'm trying to talk to you guys. All of a sudden I see his hand waving like Little King Class. Like, what? What, Chuck?
I did.
Point of order.
Yeah, we did. So yeah, there is a little bit of, I mean, it's so minute difference, but the car just handles great. It's really learning how to track. And speaking of Spring Mountain, I think it's important that you take some type of serious training before you go on any track. Learn how to handle the car, but trust the car. And yeah, so either coupe or convertible is a win. It's just good to hear that somebody is out there tracking their car and enjoying it to its fullest extent.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Speaking of tracking real quick, if I may. Oh, ooh, Chuck. Yeah. This Sunday, I'll be in Perrysburg for a low-speed autocross. I don't know if, in fact, I'll be racing, but I need to be there because I'm sponsoring the lunch. So I'll be there hanging out with you guys regardless. I don't think my son Ryan's going to make it. He is... he still hasn't turned the corner yet. He's still not doing well. But I look forward to seeing you guys Sunday. I'm hoping I can race. I got some pent up, you know.
Only you know if you can, so.
Yeah, I want to race. Well, it's a low speed one, so I can do it. I had to cancel Pittsburgh. I really was looking forward to that, but I wasn't going to do that by myself, so that's fine. Okay. All right, we got one more for Tech Tuesday. Yeah, enjoy just hanging out with you guys.
This one looks like it comes from Margaret M. Good morning, Rick, Chuck, and Nate. I have a few questions about my friend's C5 2003 50th anniversary Corvette. He brought the car in because the ABS light comes on. According to the report I'm sending you, it says the electronic brake control module failed. Technician told him that he needed this part, but GM does not make it anymore. Do you know where it can be found? I hope you can help us. Thank you for all your information, your channel feedback. Feel better, Rick. Okay.
That's what sucks about C5. C5 is such a fun driving car, but you can't get a damn thing for them right now.
We're having trouble getting parts for any of them, all the way up to C7. So, depending on, I've been down this road, it depends on what codes they have. I found an aftermarket place, it's called ABS Fixer. And depending on what trouble code it has, they can only fix a few of the trouble codes. I can't remember now exactly what they are. But, I mean, Rick can put their phone number down. Their phone number is 877-648-7530. If you know the trouble code that the ECM is experiencing, you can call them and see if it can be repaired through them. What they do is you take the EBCM off, send it to them. They rebuild it if it can be rebuildable and send it back to you. And I've had really, really good experiences with them. Every one I've sent out and had repaired, I haven't had no issue with, so.
That was nice of you. You did a little digging for that too.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Hey, if you guys are in the Pataskala area this Saturday, our dealership is sponsoring an awesome all-car and truck show, predominantly Corvette, over at Foundation Park here in Pataskala, brought to you by the Street Elite Corvette Club. It's going to be kind of like a citywide event, if you will. There'll be fireworks later on that night. I'll be down there to see that with you guys. And of course, Sundays, I mentioned, I'll be in Perrysburg with a low-speed autocross. So, hey, it's good to see you, man.
Good. I'm glad you're back. Good to see you.
You know, and I said this on Sunday too. It's just like you don't really realize how much we do until we're not doing it. Right. And I love being here with you guys. I love talking with Chuck. Love reading your notes. We got so much content coming on the channel. So do support us by subscribing and making comments down below. And we're done talking cars now. But before we go, we're going to show off some cars. These are your beautiful rides. Thanks for watching.
I was too young, and I didn't understand that you are no one, and I can't wait to see you again. Hindsight is fleeting when your heart's bleeding and all you can see is red. Till you discover it is within each other to forgive and make amends. If I had known then what I know now, I wouldn't have said what I said. I took the long road, thought I'd be better on my own. Sometimes what's right is wrong instead. 'Cause I was too young and I didn't understand that you were the one. And I can't wait to see you again. Oh, I can't wait, I can't wait, I can't wait. 'Cause I was too young and I didn't understand that you were the one.